Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Now, what are your hopes, Henry?
My hopes are that the people who experience this letter are able to take even just like a drop of hope from it during their hard times.
I've seen your letter, and it's absolutely beautiful. How long did it take you to write it?
So the rough draft, it took me probably a day to come up with like the main ideas, and then probably 2 days to like put all that into the actual letter. I actually enjoyed the letter writing experience a lot because I know that I can actually look back on the letter that I wrote because I gave some advice that I know I can use because I still go through problems, and I know that if I'm able to look at the letter and look at the advice, that I could implement that into my life and like during hard times, and it'll help me.
How incredible would it be if through this letter you made a friend that 50 years from now you were still friends? How would that feel?
Oh, that would be incredible. I mean, I have a few friends that I've known like my whole life, and they're just amazing. And to have somebody go through your whole life with for 50 years, I mean, you'd always have someone to turn to, and during your hard times, and that I know people don't have that. Some people don't have that, and they need to know that there are people in this world that love them and that want them to succeed.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. but you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
That's right. I'm ringing the damn thing. Yes, I am. Why? Because wake up. It's time to wake up, tune in, lean in, get up, stay up, all that, and a bag of chips. It is Tuesday. I keep wanting to say Monday. Why? Because yesterday I had a pre-recorded show playing because it was a mental health day. It sure was. It was. I have started a new thing where, we're going to Romania. I'm going to just keep it real. I like transparency. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren. I just got on up in it quick. So, yes, that's the bell of purpose, by the way. I ring it on purpose because just like the bell, the truth has a ring to it. And so you don't take it for granted that everybody knows the truth when they see it or hear it or experience it. But it really should only take once, because there's nothing in the universe that does not change ever except for the truth. That's why it has a ring to it, just like the bell. And that is that. Welcome to the show, my sidekick. She's my Ed McMahon, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Been with me all 6 years. Yes, she has. So, listen, I'm keeping it real. Transparency, right? Look, this Power Week, the first. There's so many firsts inside of this one. Our first international one. The first time I'm taking 11 of my coaching clients with me. And even though, many of us have been together, so I have people that have been with me 5, 6 years, and they've been to other Power of We's or the Next Impact or whatever, some of my events. But we've never, been on a whole day's plane ride together, this, that, other. And the documentary team will be with us. So we're really excited. We are headed to Romania to do a lot of things. First and foremost, it is the Legacy of Hope tour. We are going to deliver some hope in the form of just bringing ourselves, our journey stories, our origin stories. But what I'm really excited about is what you saw with Henry Haddis. We are taking 200 pen pal letters from kids all over this country who are ready to start talking to other kids. I put the mic in front of kids and you watch what comes out of the speakers in this universe. Okay. The reason this is so important to us is because the adults, we're the ones who keep dropping the damn ball, right? Kids are not invisible. First of all, they possess all the dustpans, all the mops, all the brooms, all the spiritual 409, if you will, that it's going to take to clean up the mess that we have created and continue to create on a moment-by-moment basis. That's going to be their job. So why shouldn't they know each other, right? So if everybody, so I'm like this. Bureaucracy, get to the left. Political agendas, get to the left. Anything that does not serve our kids, get out of the way. And watch what these kids do. People underestimate kids, but I have every one of them that ever helped me get to the man you see before you today. I have them all with me right now, and I honor them by unstitching their lips, giving them back their voices. Why? Because they manifested, number one, everything I live in today. They took the hits. Yes, they did. Everything you've lived through was to lead you to the life you now live within. Can I get an amen? So welcome to the show. There's our movie poster, the Legacy of Hope tour. There is our official brand poster for the trip. And there is our official t-shirt, the Legacy of Hope tour. And there is a way, take your device if you're on your computer, scan the flow code right there in the corner and get over. But if you're on your phone and you can't do that, then I got you covered. I'm going to put it right here. Let me get to it. First of all, can I get an amen? Thank you so much. I want to put, here it is. I'm going to let that just tick along the bottom. Okay. So listen, I had a goal of 10 grand. And of course, you don't put the whole thing out there because it'll scare folks. It was a lot more than that, but it was a great place to start. I believe in small bites out of a big apple, because when we all come together, the thing I love about GoFundMe, which was also a first, is that it literally put this movement known as the Power of We Symposium in the hands of the people. where it belongs. And you guys have shown up in a big, big way. We are, I think, less than $2,000 away from our $10,000 goal. And we've done it in just a little bit over 2 weeks. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my spirit, because you are living proof. The State Department is behind us on this. And the first thing they said to me, well, we're going to see if what you say truly matters to the people. And so we have spoken, and that is that. Okay. So who do we have today? She's been here before. It's been a minute. Jessica Dugas. Jessica Suzanne. She's I don't know if she still keeps that middle name, because in her bio she says Jessica Dugas. So we'll call her JD for short. JD in the house. Who is she? Well, she's an intuitive mentor, an inspirational entertainer, an international best-selling author, and the creator of the Breakthrough Show Network. Now, her multi-passionate approach to entrepreneurship brings together coaching skills, endless creativity, authentic intuition, sense of humor, and entertaining on-screen presence, resulting in a unique and transformative experience for her clients and fans alike. Now, Jessica, she's a devoted wife, first and foremost. She is homeschooling, believe it or not, this mom of 6 beautiful children, doing it. She's doing it. And she enjoys many hobbies, including anything to do with music, plant-based cooking, gaming with her family. If it ain't Miss Pac-Man or Galaga, it's out of my realm. Just saying. 80s baby. Not an 80s baby. I wish. No, I don't. 60s baby, but 80s, game. Remember Pong? The first video game Atari. If you remember that, put it in the comments. Those were the days, my friend. I wish they'd never end. Okay, anyway, back to Jessica. Here's what she really loves. Breathing in the salty sea air by the Connecticut shoreline. Well, isn't that nice for you, Jessica, living on the water and all? Jealous much, Lauren? Listen, she's been here before, but let's treat her like it's the first time. And how do we do that? We celebrate, we pour into, and we honor this divine moment right now together, where we are fulfilling together one of the greatest promises God has to offer. It's the one that tells us and guarantees us that when 2 or more of us comes together with all of this in mind, our intentions of being of service, spiritual magic comes out the other side, and she's bringing some with her today. Put your hearts on the screen as we virtually applaud the arrival of Jessica S. Dugas, also known as JD. That little countdown clock is my jam. Dun, 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 dun. How are you? Oh, you got your robe on.
That's how we do here, Lauren. That's how we do.
Oh, by the salty seashore of
yes,
Connecticut. Happy place. Mystic, Connecticut.
Yes.
Is that the name of your town?
Yes. Just let you. Have you seen Mystic Pizza with Julia Roberts?
Yes.
That's where I live.
Wow. Oh, let me see. Nope, there's not a movie about Naperville yet. Hey, founder of how come Project Joy Live wasn't in your bio?
Because it's part of the Breakthrough Show Network. So it's just one of 890,000 things that I do to add to my plate.
Okay. Well, listen. Here's how I do it now. I like to dip out for a second and allow the guests to have just like a moment, a minute, to create a vibe of their own with the audience, and just maybe, if there's something I missed in the bio, go ahead and put it out there. I'll come back in. We'll officially get started. How's that sound?
Sure. Sounds great.
Okay. All you take it away.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm the same as Lauren. I sometimes forget what day it is, but I'm happy to be here with you on this Tuesday. Actually, fun fact, speaking of Project Joy, I did Project Joy Live right before coming on to Bathrobe Moments here with Lauren. Super excited to be back today. I think Lauren pretty much covered it all in the intro, in the bio, but I was sharing with him before I came on the screen that I was trying to I did my lashes for for Dr. Lauren today. And I was trying desperately to keep them on because my son, my oldest son, actually texted me right before I came on here. He's been going to school and he just found out that he became a registered nurse, nursing assistant as of last night. So super, super excited about that. So I'm over here crying in the green room before the show. But I want to ask you guys, because I know we're going to get into a lot of things on today's show, but what's bringing you joy today? What's something, and if you're struggling to find it, just look around you right now and think, what's bringing me joy today? And I want to hear about it because it brings me joy to know what brings you joy.
Amen. Aw, remember that song by Anita Baker? You Bring Me Joy? You probably don't. Do you?
That's been a minute.
It has been a minute. I remember because actually I got to perform with her for 3 weeks as a background vocalist.
I remember that now. Yes.
Yeah. Somebody got sick and I got called. I was a spare. So, but still a great experience. Wonderful woman. Listen, interesting fact. In preparation of today's show, I was like, well, let me show a little clip. I like to open up with different perspectives, right? Mm-hmm. So I was looking for something about joy. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, every single video, Google it, short video about joy. Guess what popped up? 100%. Every single video on YouTube that had joy in it was a religious video. It was a sermon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait a minute.
Isn't that interesting?
Why is joy only inside of organized religion as far as what people are putting out there? You know, I mean, who doesn't remember the song? Well, I do. Do you remember that song? No, I might have been just.
I've got that joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I've got that joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart to stay, and I'm so happy, very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. Yes, I'm so happy,
I'm happy.
So very happy.
So happy.
I've got the love of Jesus in my heart.
Boy, I didn't know there was that part to it.
Oh, see, I used to direct the children's choir at church, so I know all of those songs.
I absolutely loved those church songs when I was inside of it as a kid. Excuse me. You know, I eat on here. I do. You know why?
Because you're hungry and because you don't have to qualify to nourish your body.
That's true. So some people might think it's rude because I chew my mouth over sometimes. But it's like this. This show, that's why I chose a show with bathrobes and stuff. So we could just come. We don't have to put on airs, eat food, do whatever, but stay in tune. So let me show you what I did find to help get us started today. I found a little piece called The Secret to Real Happiness. So we're going to watch a little of it and then start talking. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Getting things is not going to make you happy. That's good news in a tough economy. It's a good reminder. You know, it doesn't matter what you get. Doesn't matter whether it be money or opportunity. All those things might excite you for the moment. You know, even a relationship, as magnificent it may be, might be exciting for a while. But if you don't keep growing, that relationship isn't going to stay exciting. So the secret to real happiness is progress. Progress equals happiness. And if we can make progress on a regular basis, we feel alive. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we get this thing like, okay, I can have this fresh start. I could really do what my soul desires. I could expand. I could grow. I could improve. I could change. Or maybe better than change, I could progress. See, think about that. Progress is an aliveness to it, doesn't it? You don't have to work at changing. People say all the time now, well, I'm working on changing. Don't worry about it. You don't have to work on changing. Change is automatic. Your body's going to change whether you want it or not as the years go by. And no matter how hard you work, there's going to be some changes going on there. The economy is going to change no matter what you want it to do. The weather is going to change. Relationships are going to change. Everything in life is always changing. We don't have to work on change. Change is automatic, but progress is not. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. You got to say, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's going to work out like people do who make a resolution.
You have to own your own happiness. Take it away from other people demanding that they make you happy. Your kids are not going to make you happy. Your spouse is not going to make you happy. A big house is not going to make you happy. Own your own happiness and be responsible for doing those things that bring joy into your own heart, independently of life and people and money and all of that stuff.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily give you a happiness. You have to take responsibility of that peace and that joy that lives inside of your heart and not inside of your stuff.
Let's stop right there because TD Jakes, let me take this out. TD Jakes brought joy into joy is your choice. Yes, it is. I was like, what is that? Did I bring
It's
that
my
in?
business card. It's actually on my business card. It says that.
Well. I am prepared for such a moment as this. Aren't we just the clever businesswoman? I'm kidding. Yes. And look, I have the same thing here on my coffee mugs that you can find at laurenmichaelsharris.com. I'm kidding. I don't have any of that stuff. I should though. But listen, let's talk about here's where I'd like us to start. Okay, and there it was. You notice Tony Robbins didn't say the word joy. But TD Jakes, who is a minister,
right,
said the word joy.
Right.
Now, and I was sitting here wondering, well, there it is again. But then I wrote the word joy down and I said, well, what could the Christian connection be? And there it was, connection. Because Christians go to church and what do they get at church? Fellowship. They have fellowship. And so that maybe is the connector where there is a disconnect in everything else where people don't use the word joy. So I want to start here. It brings me to this because this is the thing I'm working on now for some content later down the road. AI. You know, I think we put too much power. We relinquish too much power to AI. For instance, you wouldn't break up with somebody, you shouldn't anyway, by text or email. You wouldn't want your doctor to deliver that you had 6 months to live in a text or an email. There are just certain things that require us to speak it to each other, to share it with each other. And joy is not something you can type into an email. You have to hear it in someone's voice, feel it from the connection of being there with them, the fellowship. So let's talk about that. Is it okay if we start there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk about it.
So I want to twist things a little bit here because I saw a comment from Robert Brooker out in the audience, and he said, I've said often that joy surrounds us day to day. It's just a matter of shifting one's perception to better see it. And what I have been sharing on Project Joy Live is a shift from all of that, a shift from thinking that joy is something that needs to be found. What if we are joy?
What if indeed?
What if we are joy? So that means that whether we're talking about networking with other people, we're talking about fellowship, we're talking about church, we're talking about our work, we're talking about AI, if we are the joy, and we are the ones bringing the joy to all of those experiences.
Yes.
So if we complicate it as humans, I went back to basics on Project Joy this morning, and we just did a little activity because every morning when I start the show, I say, what's bringing you joy today? And there's oftentimes I'll see 10, 15 people watching, and I'll get like 1 or 2 people that'll say, you know, whatever's bringing them joy. And sometimes we get caught up in it. We're waiting for something big to happen outside of us. But the joy is right here. It's our choice to experience it. It is our choice to see anything that we look at could be joy if we proclaim it as such. And if we are joy, then we are it. We're surrounded by it all the time.
Okay. So I put joy inside the category of, the best things in life are free. It's true. And the best things in life are not only free, but they also can't be put inside of a container. So in other words, if you said to me, draw peace, you couldn't draw peace. You can draw a symbol,
Yeah.
a dove or
Yeah.
an olive branch or whatever. Joy, you might show somebody dancing or whatever, but that's an expression
Right.
of it.
Right.
Joy is a thing you see. So let me ask you this. Do you feel that the world is losing? Because look, if we can't find the word, that means the definition isn't being heard or felt. So why is that? Let's go with Google, people. Put it in videos on joy, and you're going to see it's only going to be inside of somebody's sermon. Why do you think everyday people, atheist or scientist or anybody who, whatever they ascribe to, why don't we see joy more as something to talk about?
I think, as I'm thinking about it now, you talk about the Legacy of Hope tour. I think there's a lot of, to talk about the religious piece of it. I think the reason why joy is talked about so often in organized religion is because Jesus, God, is seen as, or whatever their higher power is in the religion, is seen as their source of hope.
Yeah.
And hope breeds joy in their mind. I remember hearing, your joy comes from God.
Yes.
When I would go to church, that's what I would remember hearing. Now I have a very different mindset about it. I believe that we are joy. And if you believe that God made us, the universe made us, if you believe whoever made us, then that is joy. And so I think there's a lot that is going on in today's world. We are surrounded by stuff that is hard, challenging, contrast, as those of you in the energetic, spiritual, woo-woo world like to say, and it can be very challenging when we've just lost our job, our house is burned in, the whole world has COVID, and we're all stuck in our house, and all of these things are happening to go, boy, I feel joyful today. Boy, I have hope today. So when we lose that hope, when we're surrounded by all of this challenge, it can be really hard to lean into that feeling of it's gonna be okay. Like, I am the joy, and I can bring it wherever I go, no matter what's happening.
Do you believe joy and happiness are one and the same?
Not necessarily, because while I believe that I am joy, I am an embodiment of joy. I bring the joy. I can choose to find the joy. I can't say that I'm happy 24/7.
Right.
And I also recognize, I mean, we could go down the whole rabbit hole today here, Dr. Lauren, and
I've been there. Right.
and say, look, happiness is a choice too. But
It is.
Here's the thing. This is the difference for me. When my brother died, I was not happy about it. Okay. But there was so much joy in him as a human being.
Yes.
In our relationship together.
Yes.
In the lessons that I learned from him. But I was not happy that he died.
Right.
So for me, that's like the happiness is this emotion that can come and go. For me, joy just is.
Now, I want to say this, and I get it. And what you said about your brother, it tied right in right after I wrote.
He wrote it down, and it was good. Robert Brooker, I'm loving your comments, by the way. I would say it was a trusted coworker who did observe that it was nice to see me happy after all that time. 20 years. That's a long time. And hey, Adam, good morning.
Are we back?
We are back.
Okay. I told you.
We might not be back all the way, though.
Okay. There
we go.
Again, an expression of celebration because you were celebrating all the things about him, his life, his legacy, his imprint, if you will, but you were still sad about the void.
Right.
devoid of the person not being there anymore.
Right.
So let's go there. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee. Everybody loves that song. Remember that from the Nun movie with Whoopi and them, and they sang it right. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. So it's a celebration. Now, I'm interested when you ask people on your show, what are you joyful for today, or what brings you joy? What kind of answers are you getting?
I can tell you that I've maybe once, but I don't think ever heard themselves. I don't think I've ever heard that. I'll say that. But I get answers like, today I heard the sun, the birds, my grandbaby, my kids. I had someone private message me 2 different songs that brought them joy this morning. People, ever since like I proclaimed myself the queen of joy, I have people messaging me all the time. Like, you have to listen to this song or this movie or this thing. And so I think people are seeing it. And that brings me joy to see that joy is being seen on a moment to moment basis now by people.
Are we losing the gift of celebrating? You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, for instance, in our house, we have a happy dance that we do. And most of the time, I got to be honest, Brian, my husband, has to make me do it. Like, literally take my hands and start doing the circle and going around. And oftentimes I'll be like, oh, God. But then I start doing it, and then I'm like, can't stop. Because think about it. When you're a kid and something happens, I'll give you an example. When I went live in December, when that thing from the president came, that presidential award, and I knew it was coming. I expected it. They said it was coming. I knew what day.
Yeah.
But as I opened it live, which I don't do, some joy just rushed in the moment I laid eyes on it. And I did this all the time when I was a little kid. If my mom said we're having pancakes for dinner, breakfast. You know, if she said I could stay up later, I got a new Stretch Armstrong because I cut open the other 6, you know, because I want to see what was in there, making them stretch. You know, I get new one.
Yeah.
And that was a thing that was unbridled. It was the child in me expressing joy.
Yeah.
Playing is expressing joy. We run, we get on the treadmill, but we're not.
Yeah.
How easy is it for you to see joy on your own face, in your own walk? How does it manifest itself or present itself, Jessica, in your world?
Oh, I think usually I'm a very sing-songy person. I'm literally a walking musical. So if you hear me singing, that's how I express.
Makes perfect sense.
So I'm always doing that. But you know how you were talking about children earlier, and I'll tell you, it was so funny because my kids are watching right now today as well. And my daughter texts me as we're doing the opening, and you're talking about how kids are like they're the what's important in this world. And Nina texts me and she goes, I really like this guy, Mom.
Aw, I love you too, Nina. Thank you.
And but you know how they say that you are the combination of like the 5, I don't know if they say 5 people or whatever that you surround yourself with, right? I always make the joke that I guess that means I'm a kid because I have 6 children in there who I spend the most time with. Yes. But honestly, like, I can be very childlike at times. I talked about gaming, and listen, I love some Pong. I had the Atari back in the single joystick days. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yes.
Some original Mario Duck Hunt. You know, did you not play Duck Hunt?
We couldn't.
Come on now.
Because we were Seventh-day Adventists. They had a gun in it.
Oh yeah. Never mind. And moving on.
Not even water pistols. Girl, I used to be so pissed. I was like,
no Nerf guns, man.
No.
That's right.
Better not get caught playing with one of them.
You know what I'm gonna send you on your birthday, Dr. Lord?
A Nerf gun? I'll take it.
I'm gonna send
I got nothing but toys around me. I do a box full over there. They're everywhere. Because, I mean, dolls, all the things that I could not play with as a child in the system that I didn't have of my own. Oh yeah, right. But see, I can't collect those because I'd be eating all the. That was my favorite
Do
candy.
you understand what this represents right here? What this represents?
Sugar.
Self-control.
Oh, that too. That too. I used to love those Pez and those. Now, a lot of people don't have good memories about these things, those necklaces, those candy necklaces. Because you know how you'd suck on it and put it back on your neck and be all gummy, right? It'd be like your neck would be like, right.
Fun fact, though, the Pez factory is here in Orange, Connecticut, and that's where I got those. We took the tour a few weeks ago.
Did they give you free Pez?
Yeah, they do.
I know, like when I went to Battle Creek, Michigan, to the Kellogg's factory, they give you some samples cereals. Now, let me ask, because here's an example. Let's see. Let's play a game. So I'm gonna give an example of, and think about when I say this, how odd it feels when you experience someone actually doing it. Whereas back in the days, it wasn't that odd at all. Here we go. An expression of joy that I love to hear and see.
Okay.
People who whistle.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is hilarious. My daughter's going to get such a big laugh out of this if she's still listening. We went grocery shopping the other day. And, you know, our grocery store, shout out to the Big Y grocery store here in Groton, Connecticut. All right. Because they play the most random songs. Literally heard a big band version of Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana the other day in the grocery store. I'm like, what is this? And where can I buy it? At any rate, Britney Spears was on the other day. Okay. Toxic by Britney Spears. Around the corner, we start hearing this whistling. This dude is whistling like the Seven Dwarfs to Britney Spears' Toxic around the corner. And we go around the corner and he's just putting the bread on the shelf and he's getting his Britney Spears whistle
whistling
on.
Britney Spears.
Yes! In the middle of the grocery store. And it's loud. Like Seven Dwarfs, whistle while you work level whistling.
Because he's clearly a gifted whistler.
Yes, it was so good. I was like, you could have a band.
That guy that did the Andy Griffith Show thing.
Yeah.
He had albums. Whistling albums.
I can't.
Where he whistled all kinds of songs. So whistling, that's an expression of joy.
It is.
And didn't it bring you joy? You sought it out. Where is that coming from? Almost like a siren song.
Yeah.
Okay. I got my next one ready. What's yours? So I got 1 point. Okay. What's yours?
Oh, another sign of joy. Okay.
Somebody expressing joy. And you guys can play along too. Drop your give an example of something dancing. Or someone you saw recently.
Random dancing is absolute, and it's me in the grocery with the grocery store. See, this is my outing. Okay. I don't go anywhere unless it involves a grocery store. So
join a club. I know everybody at mine, all back in the meat department. I'm all back there, all of it. I've been everywhere but upstairs in the offices.
I literally will date if I hear a song, and my kids love it. When I just start dancing in the grocery store. Okay.
Hey, that is an expression. Let me see if anybody was courageous enough to drop an example. Well, someone agreed with the whistling thing.
Yes.
But okay, no one's dropped in an idea.
Let's hear your idea. Come on, people.
I know. And no fair to use kids because they got it down. They got it down. But adults in the adult world. So I'll say one that it kind of is it the same as yours? Let me think. And that is like when you're in the gym, in the health club, and you see someone with their music on and they're in between. To me, that's an expression of joy because they are celebrating. You know, listen, I'm in here. I'm feeling good. I'm doing good. Boom, boom, boom. But I guess we can all agree that it is, and that was the point of the little exercise / game, is that we should start looking for it. It is a dying art. I think expressing joy is an art form. So let's talk about project joy live.
Mm.
So why did you choose joy? Because I'm sure you had options.
Yeah, so at the end, I had already had the breakthrough show that I was doing back in 2018. At the end of 2019, I was going through a really hard time, specifically with my health. I deal with some different chronic health issues. A lot of people don't even realize that, but it's not something that I'm like on here. I'm not here for the pity party. Okay, I'm here for the joy. And so at the end of 2019, I woke up one day and I was like, I am not going to do anything that doesn't bring me joy anymore. Period of, and I'm just proclaiming it. I'm claiming it. I'm all of the things. I'm just no more anything that doesn't bring me joy. And so I said, how can I bring this to people? And I made the decision to do a little Monday morning podcast. It was a podcast at the time I was going to call Project Joy. And I literally sat down, and in an hour, I had 52 topics of places we could find joy. And I was like, we need, if I'm proclaiming this, then there's got to be other people who want to do this as well. So I'm going to do this little 15-minute podcast. Well, that was the end of 2019. And this leads into a little bit my intuition, because who knew that 2020 was going to turn out like it was, and we were going to need a little more joy in 2020. So I continued with that, where I did the show every week. I had different people on sharing stories as well, just a short little podcast. And at the end of the year, I said, look, I could come up with 52 more topics and we could continue this, or I could just do it live and we could just see what happens, because all of my other shows are so planned and rehearsed and edited, and all of these, things to make it beautiful, things to figure it all out. And I was like, I just need to do something where I can get up in the morning, express the joy that I have for this life, hear from other people about what they're doing, encourage people to find the joy, to be the joy. And we're just going to do it live. And now it's Monday through Friday.
See, there you go. I thought of another one, another example. And by the way, one of the great attributes of joy is it's catchy. It catches.
Absolutely.
It's like wildfire. That's why you guys went around the corner to see who was whistling. It was catchy.
Yeah.
It caught you. It has a hook. So infectious laughter.
Yes.
When people are laughing, or you're in a restaurant, something there, at first we're like, can you use your indoor laugh? But really, secretly, we're jealous, because there's nothing better than a rip-roaring belly laugh, or your kind where you're like, remember where you're laughing, you're like, stop, I'm gonna pee. Stop, I'm serious. Don't make me. I'm gonna pee. I promise I'm gonna pee.
And let me tell you something. After having 6 children, it is not easy over here, people. Okay, I'm trying, and I'm gonna pee my pants.
Well, I've never had any children, but I am a almost 61-year-old man. Same problem. Shout out to the Pins. Love y'all. So anyway, so there we go. So laughter, right? So joy is laughter is an expression of joy.
Brittany has a good one too. Sacred and Secrets. She had a good one out there.
What was it?
Smiling is a form of joy, and it's contagious. When I see someone else smiling, it makes me smile, she said.
That's true. That's why the stare game is so fun as a kid. Where you're like, okay, come on, go.
Yeah.
And then you start cheating by making your nostrils flare or something, crossing your eyes. No fair, right? Because it's just, and when you watch, back to kids, out of the mouths of babes, when you watch kids and animals like our cats, they got a million toys up there. Put a box down on the floor. They'll play in that box all day.
Yeah.
They find joy in the things that didn't cost a penny. Oftentimes, you see what I'm saying? Right. I've seen so many things on social media where little kids, toddlers, will be playing in the refrigerator box instead of, at Christmas, or they're playing with the boxes instead of the toys. So tell us about what you hope to pour into your audiences through this show. What is the end game for Jessica? What are your highest hopes, your fondest dreams, your divine intentions with this?
with any of the shows that I do, with anything, whether it's or even the books that I wrote or anything like that, if I die and everyone and I brought helped somebody to see something a little differently, or to find the joy when they thought there wasn't any, or to put a smile on their face, or if I brought any kind of joy, if I helped you to realize you are the joy and you can create it and find it and be it no matter where you are or what's going on in your life, that's it for me. And I I mean, I want that to be the in the end sort of thing, but I also, like, I just wanna remind people that a day to day, that it's a moment to moment practice. It is a moment to moment choice to be the joy, to experience the joy, because what I have learned, especially in the last 9 months of my life that have been so challenging, is that life doesn't life's not like, here's the joy, have fun with it, go. Like, it doesn't just like, it does occasionally, and yay for the times when it's easy, but sometimes we have to put in the effort to find it, to be it, to create it, to embody it. And if I've helped anybody to do that at the end of the day, whether it's through helping people to share their message through a show, or they've read my book, or they've watched me on a show, or they're my friend, or they're my child, or they're
Yeah.
my spouse, I
Yes.
I want to have made a difference.
Joy is found, and that's absolutely right. And I already knew the answer to that, but I wanted you to share it with everybody. But so much joy can be found in our divine memories.
Mm,
I mean, what I love about joy is that it instantly lifts everything. It
mm,
uplifts it, your eyebrows, the facial muscles, your shoulders, your
yeah.
spirit. But as in all things that serve us, we must seek them, because the guarantee is attached to the seeking. You've got to want it, need it, understand it, and search for it wherever, because that is how we live through a lens of gratitude. Now,
Mm.
you have 6 kids. I can't imagine it's like the Brady Bunch show. You were mentioning the previous months, and you and I have talked off camera. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Let's just say hypothetically, typical day where Jessica does not show up like the person we see on the screen.
Mm.
Where do you go in your world? Say you're concerned as a mother about one of your kids. When they hurt, you hurt,
Yeah.
and certain things you cannot fix for them. How do you reach for your own teachings?
Mm.
And why do you reach for them? And what do they ultimately end up doing to change the air in the tank when you are not smiley,
Mm.
joyful Jessica?
I think I will start by saying this. Last night, I had one of the worst panic attacks that I have had in a long time. Last night, you see me showing up here like this today, but last night was a hard time for me because something triggered me and there I went. But I think I'm able to show up today, and I shared this on Project Joy Live this morning, because in the times when things are good, I'm practicing. I'm always practicing. Where's the joy? Where's my gratitude? Am I showing up how I want to? I'm using the tools when things are good, so that when it's bad, when it's challenging, when I'm in that space of contrast, it's easy for me to flip back, to flip that switch a little quicker. I think for me, um, it's challenging as someone, not just with my kids, who,
Yeah.
when you can't help them, like, it is the most heart-wrenching, helpless thing I have
Yeah.
ever experienced in my life, to have one of my children going through something and there's nothing I can do.
Right.
It's there it will freeze you. Like,
Right.
it's the most horrible thing. Like, it's a challenging thing I've ever experienced. But I always go back to, I am doing something. I am doing something
Right.
because I've set this tone that you are joy. And it's sometimes it's a balance to play as a parent, right? Because it's like I'm teaching my kids, you are the joy, but also be quiet because this is a library. You're not supposed to be yelling.
Right. Right. Even
there's
joy has boundaries.
right. There's that. I mean, but it doesn't, because even though it's a library and you're supposed to be quiet, you can be in your head.
That's true.
You are, that's what I mean by you are it. So it's literally like I go back to these things because it has been a practice. It has become easier for me as time goes on. Now, I will say this, and I was very honest with going through everything that I've been through the last few months. Me being the Queen of Joy, me having a show called Project Joy Live, me having all of these tools did not lessen the amount of challenge I was given. It didn't make things go away. So if you think that you're going to get into any kind of practicing joy, personal development, spiritual development, and you're just going to not have to deal with anything anymore, that's not what happens.
No.
But it does allow you to flip that switch a little quicker, to not, Jessica, if I would have gone through this, what I've been through the last few months a year ago, I would still be in that bed.
Yes. Yes.
I would still be in the bed. I wouldn't be getting out, and it would not be a good situation.
I get it. Look, because of what we were talking about today and what you just mentioned about it, your children, I could hear it in your voice. You did a great job of keeping it reeled in, but I knew we could all, couldn't we? We could sense that that's a real hard road to tow with our the people we love in general, not just kids, but particularly so. But so I want to show something. I want to show, I showed it at the top, but the little promo about Henry, who will be celebrating at the press conference in the school thing tomorrow. Or what do you call those things when they're in the gym?
I don't know.
You know, when all the kids come to the gym, an assembly. There it is.
Oh, yes, assembly.
Be gone, senior moment. There. So anyway, but Henry's father is a very good friend of mine, Mark Hattis. And when I was showing the video of Henry's letter to Mark burst into tears at the part where we asked Henry about what if this letter provided you a friend that you had 50 years from now. And I said, well, Mark, what happened? I saw on the screen what happened. He goes, Lauren, I can't wait to show this to my wife, Liz. We have not seen that light in Henry's eyes that I saw right there in that moment since prior to COVID. And I was like, what? You know, and what it did for him. So I just want to show an example of joy in real time. Because clearly a lot of us think we know it when we see it. But maybe if you see it here today and recognize it, it's pointed out, you'll seek for it throughout today. So let's take a look one more time. And it's also my final shameless plug to donate.
Now, what are your hopes, Henry?
My hopes are that the people who experience this letter are able to take even just like a drop of hope from it during their hard times.
I've seen your letter, and it's absolutely beautiful. How long did it take you to write it?
So the rough draft, it took me probably a day to come up with like the main ideas, and then probably 2 days to like put all that into the actual letter. I actually enjoyed the letter writing experience a lot because I know that I can actually look back on the letter that I wrote because I gave some advice that I know I can use because I don't really, I still go through problems, and I know that if I'm able to look at the letter and look at the advice, that I can implement that into my life and like during hard times, and it'll help me. It's great.
How incredible would it be if through this letter you made a friend that 50 years from now you were still friends? How would that feel?
Oh, that would be incredible. I mean, I have a few friends that I've known like my whole life, and they're just amazing. And to have somebody go through your whole life with for 50 years, I mean, you'd always have someone to turn to, and during your hard times. And that, I know people don't have that. Some people don't have that, and they need to know that there are people in this world that love them and that want them to succeed.
There's a great place to wrap this show up today. I'm so glad I watched that a second time and played it a second time, because just seeing when Henry said the word, I enjoyed the letter writing, everything shifted.
Yeah.
That word is magical.
It is magic.
It is magical. My prayer right now and forevermore is that all of us we start to literally make it a part of your daily grounding. We meditate, we Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and we, all these things, but throw just a dash of joy into the mix and see what happens. You might just be surprised. Jessica, tell them about where they can go. And here's tell us what we're looking at on the screen.
Sure. So you can go to thebreakthroughshownetwork.com to see any of my shows or my fellow host shows. They're all inspirational. They're all going to inspire you to live a more joyful life. JessicaDugas.com houses all little stories about me and some of the different things I offer, including Vanna White here. My latest book is called Thriving Through Change. And I loved that the clip, because I didn't even get to talk about this, but the clip that you showed at the beginning talked about change being inevitable. It's something that we all go through. A moment, everything's changing. As we breathe, our bodies are changing.
Everything.
All the time. And how can we enjoy the changes instead of fighting against them to live with more joy?
I agree. And that's that. Listen, I will take the liberty to drop both of Jessica's links inside your comment section right at the conclusion of today's broadcast for easy access. I highly encourage you to do whatever you need to do, but eventually make your way over and continue this dialogue with Jessica. Watch her show, support her work. Think about it. Is it even possible to have too much joy? I don't think so. Joy is just like the word to. The word to, let's leave it at the end of the sentence where it is inclusive, where it was intended. There's joy for you too. Come on, we can have this joy together. There's enough for you and you and you too. Not, it's too hard. I'm too old. I'm too ugly. I'm too fat. It's too late. Leave too where it belongs and experience all the joy that belongs to you. Take that with you today. Jessica, always a pleasure and honor. Thank you for all you do to keep this world moving in the right direction. And you know what? I say that to every single one of you as well. We could not do it alone, nor would we want to. Listen, meet me tomorrow morning, God willing, right out there on the front porch, and we'll do it all over again. And what's that? Creating an
right at the end too. Thanks for having me, Dr. Lauren. I appreciate you.
Yes, appreciate you too. In parting, as always, I love you, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Get out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. Have the best day ever. Bye, Jessica. Great job.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.